Alright, hey, I'm Cass Flood. It's March 20th where we're recording this podcast. Fucking Kyle's here. Devin's here, who I recorded one of my first ever podcasts with 2 years ago, right before we moved to across the country. I'll get into that. But, so we're recording a podcast today, and right as I was setting up the computer, we get a knock at the door that's closed off for the winter, and we go to the other door, and we just got served our 30 days notice to quit papers from our apartment.
Actually, 30?
Yeah, no,
30 plus days, because it's the middle of March right now.
Oh, yeah.
It's March 21st or something.
We're supposed to get out
April 30th.
by April 30th. But we won't be able to talk our way out of it because the one day we were playing guitar with our buddy Dave Stern. He was over the house, and we made a recording of it. And the complaint against us was actually upstairs. They fucking started freaking out. And that was actually a really bad freak out. It was a little bit funny, not gonna lie. We thought it was for us, because we were making music.
Yeah.
But I think he was finding out his fucking girlfriend was cheating on him or something. Damn. In the middle. It was the middle of the day, too.
It's kind of sadly ironic that we were just talking about where you guys were living.
Oh, yeah. So me and Kyle were telling Devin about how, this time last year we lived in our car. And, 3/2/2017. Cass Kyle Dave Stern. It's right there.
Fuck yeah.
So, so this time last year, from January until April 1st, me and Kyle, we were living in our car. And, before that, we lived in an apartment from about September until we got kicked out of that apartment. And before that, we lived in a tent from probably about July until September. Then we moved into that apartment, got evicted, moved into our car, moved into our friend's sunroom, and then moved into this place where we just got 30 days notice to quit. Life is strange. Also, it's fucking funny, the first time I see fucking Jarid in months. He's going through all sorts of fucking crazy personal bullshit. Oh, Jared's on?
You're being recorded.
Jarid, you're being recorded.
Okay.
You're on with me and Kyle, and Devin's here, and the computer is on. And, what's going on, dude?
Nothing, just sitting at South Station. My bus doesn't get out of here till 3.
Till 3? Oh, well, that's only 20 minutes from now.
Yo, well...
So you'll be here for 4-ish?
4:35.
You should go hang out with your cousin, and then we'll pick you up after MMA.
Alright.
Sound like a plan?
Yeah, works for me.
Alright, cool.
Fuck yeah.
So we'll see you 8:30.
Alright, man.
Wait, Jarid, I have a question for the podcast.
Yeah.
Are there any crazy people at the bus station right now?
Yo, surprisingly not, bro. Yo, and I got mad lucky. The designated charging port station area was absolutely empty of people. And so now I got the seat next to the good club.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully, the Wi-Fi and, plugs work on the train.
Wait, what?
Hopefully, the plugs work when I get on the bus.
Oh, yeah. Yo, I hate that shit. When it's out, you have to fucking conserve battery and shit. You're like, oh no, I'm at 10%, and I'm 10 miles out. I gotta save this to tell someone I'm here.
What kind of bus are we talking about that has plugs on it?
Oh, dude, Megabus or the Datco bus. Dude, they have Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Damn.
Right?
I mean, I've been in Oregon for the past 2 years, and there's tons of fucking public transportation. It's amazing there, but even the trains have Wi-Fi there.
Oh, that's dope.
That was the most surprising thing there. Was they have shit like this around now.
Alright, Jarid. Ready to get you off the phone.
Alright.
And we'll see you tonight when you get it.
Alright. Talk to you then.
Peace, man.
Bye.
Bye. Alright, dude. So, fucking, I wanna ask you about Oregon, because last time I had you on, you were like, I'm leaving. So, like, what happened? You fucking love my podcast, and you were getting ready to go. And what was your like first like step? What was your like? What was like? Tell me about like day of leaving. You were like the day you were not here anymore.
Let's see. It was just was it like 9 hours on a plane or something like that? Got to Oregon. Fucking stayed at what was it? Some shitty hotel. Stayed there for about a week, which was ridiculously expensive. Went on Craigslist. Ended up throwing out several different ads for like looking for roommates or whatever. Ended up getting this one, which was kind of strange. I moved there with with my girlfriend at the time, and it got a little weird as soon as I got there. This one couple messaged us. They were like, "Yeah, you can," it's basically like a couch surfing type thing. And we ended up staying there for a few days, and they were trying to start up their own video game company. And in today's society, there doesn't really seem to be a big influence on video games when it comes to women, so they had my girlfriend play a few different games. I think they were something like Assassin's Creed and Skyrim or something like that. And then she would just do reviews on it. But it got really weird really quickly. The first day we were there, his drug dealer came over, and crystal meth is pretty big in Oregon now.
Yeah, it's kind of like big everywhere, but here, from what I understand, I haven't really been to many places, but so this dude came over, the drug dealer came by.
Yeah, and then
they did crystal.
Yeah, like right in front of us, and we were like, we weren't expecting this. We were just expecting, we were gonna review some video games for a couple days, and then we'd be on our way. That wasn't even the strange part. It got even weirder. I was going to a couple interviews, and I left my girlfriend with a couple of my knives because I didn't know these people. I was like, if you have to, just leave our shit and run. But she was like, no, they were actually really nice. The only weird thing was, while I was gone, they asked if, when I came back, if we would be interested in filming them as they had sex on a washing machine. That's when we were like, we're gonna stay here for one more night. And as soon as morning came, we just grabbed, I had a duffel bag that was probably like 50 pounds. And we just grabbed our shit and just walked. We were just like, we are not gonna be here anymore. We can deal with strange, but this is a little bit...
Yeah.
I mean...
The crystal sex speed. It's like, motherfucker, just buy a tripod.
No, they were trying to initiate the orgy.
Oh God, I hope not. They were some scary looking people.
Yeah.
Where they were like trying to add an element of professionalism to their amateur pornography. Like, yo, you gotta come in for the close-ups.
Oh, no.
You can't do close-ups with a tripod.
Yeah. Hey man, I'm trying to make something tasteful. Do you stick around and run the camera for us?
We need more than one angle.
This single camera format is no longer working. No, so what'd you do after you walked away from these freaky people's house? You guys just walked down the road with your shit like, oops.
Yeah, we were like, well, we don't know what we're gonna do, but luckily we got another message that day. We just went to a restaurant, got some food, and just waited there for as long as we could. And we got a message saying that they were looking for roommates. We went back to... It was honestly, sadly, right down the street from where we were staying. And we looked at the place and ended up actually moving in there.
What was that place like?
I mean, it wasn't bad. We basically had the place to ourselves most nights, and that was actually awesome.
Okay.
But, I mean, the place was way too expensive. She asked for first and last, and it was $600 a month.
Oh.
So we ended up giving $1,200 to them, and then we probably stayed there for 4 months, and when we ended up moving out, lady actually never gave me. I actually paid her for that month, but we ended up moving out the second of that month, second or third.
Oh, so you like paid for a month that you didn't use?
Yeah, and she basically stole $600 from me. And I kept texting her and calling her. I knew where she worked. I even went to her work. I saved pictures on my phone because I was actually going to take her to court for it. That's a good chunk of money lost. And nothing ever came of it, but we moved out of there. Luckily, we moved a town or two away from that place. Ended up with this other couple. They were around our age, so they were actually fun to be around.
Oh, were there other people you lived with previously, like older?
Yeah. They were the crystal meth people were probably in their late 30s, but moved in with the couple that was around our age. They were pretty cool. They introduced us to Kratom.
Is that a band or like a game?
Oh no, Kratom is like this herb that they grind up, and it's something you usually drink. And it gives you effects that are like supposed to either be like calming or it'll bring you up depending on which type you get. And it just tasted extremely weird. I don't even know how to describe it. It was just bitter. And then they introduced my girlfriend to dabs. And that was probably like the scariest thing in my life because when she took her first dab, she actually completely passed out because she kept coughing. She couldn't breathe. And I was like, nobody noticed. And I was like, I was just trying to hand off the piece to the next person because she was just falling over. Luckily we were sitting down.
Yeah.
But that was very disturbing.
Oh man, one of the first times I ever smoked weed, like a lot of really good weed, smoking with these kids in their like dilapidated parked van that was in front of this chick's house. And I don't know, we were just smoking like consistently for an extended period of time for the first time in my life. I was all baked out. And like I couldn't take it anymore. I was way too high. I needed to get some air. I like get out, I open the door of the van, and then like all the blood rushes out of my head, and I just like fucking like lost my vision for a second and collapsed. It was bizarre. It was like knockout via weed. I was okay. I like came right to, but it was bizarre.
Yeah, that must have been weird. Like you're like fading.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do to bring yourself back.
But I never lost consciousness. Like I was conscious the whole time. I just lost control of all of my senses in my body. I don't know. I entered the psychedelic realm
Out of body.
forcefully.
Forcefully.
It was bizarre. It never happened again.
Yeah, that is weird.
It was a strange experience. It was scary. It just slowly went blind and collapsed. And then slowly my vision came back.
Actually, the same girlfriend. Last time I actually got shrooms here, which was probably from you. She took some, but then we went out for a walk. So I was like, it's so much better when you're going out and just like not just sitting inside. We did that. We walked around for probably like 2 hours. And she did not drink anything that entire time. It was during the middle of the summer.
No, mushrooms make you thirsty
Yeah.
too. You gotta drink on those.
Yo, but I don't know. I also often don't feel like drinking anything when I'm tripping. It's weird.
Yeah, I feel you, but like,
I force myself to.
yeah, you gotta.
But I could just totally go all day without water if I let myself.
We got back to the house, and she told me, "Oh, I didn't eat anything all day either." I was like, "Oh good God!"
Oh yeah,
I
mushrooms
don't.
will hit you way faster if you don't eat. You know,
I cannot eat.
the first time I ever wanted to eat on mushrooms, I took I ate 5 grams, and I went out. I was just like tripping. I was hanging out with some people who weren't tripping. We were on like an epic, like walk around the neighborhood, search all night for like weed. Like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we just couldn't find a fucking bag that day.
I mean,
So the end of the day. But like so, then it's getting late, and I'm like, wait a minute, I feel funny. My stomach feels weird. And like, what is happening to me? And then I'm like, oh, dumbass, you need to eat. It's been 12 hours. But I still didn't feel in my stomach like I needed to. It's like I was getting all the other feelings of being very hungry without any of the stomach craving. Do you know what I mean? Oh, you want a cup of coffee?
Oh no, I'm good. Thank you. But after she told me that, she was leaning on the counter. I was like, "Are you okay?" And she was like, "I feel a bit dizzy." I was like, "Okay, well, that could either be 2 things. You haven't eaten or had anything to drink, or it could be because of the shrooms, or both." And just as she said that, she just fell and just smashed her face off the floor.
Oh.
I was like, "Oh my God." And I ran over to her. I was like, "Are you okay?" She was out.
Really?
Yeah, she smashed her face so hard off the floor, she now has a scar on her eyebrow that, separates her eyebrow.
Oh.
She, has no hair.
It has, the reverse mohawk.
Yes.
Just
And it was the scariest thing because she wasn't breathing.
Oh, dude.
And just as I got over to her, she seized. I was like, "Oh God, I just killed this girl. This is all my fault." And I ran into the other room. I was like, "Somebody call 911. They're like, "Why?" I was like, "Isabel just passed out." He was like, "Nah, she's fine." I was like, "Oh God." And I was like, "We should probably go to the hospital. That's bleeding a lot." He was like, "No." I was like, "Here, hold this over your face." He just got a thing of ice. And then after that, he just got a butterfly stitch and put it over her eyebrow. I was like, okay. Is this one of the scariest things I've ever experienced?
Yeah, no, that sounds terrifying.
While high on mushrooms, that is.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, no. We tripping. Stressful situations are like tenfold.
Nope.
It's like as much of a better time as it can like make you like a worse time.
Yep.
So you're in Portland. You live with this.
Right.
You moved in with a couple of your age,
Mm-hmm.
a couple towns
Yeah.
away from all the freaks you just met. So like are you working at this point?
Yeah, I'm working at a this one chain that's from the West Coast. It's a vegan cafe, and there I'm just doing like just running food and cooking it, prepping it, and that was okay for a while. Before the manager changed, and the manager was so rude. He pissed me off so bad that I actually, he was yelling at me for something that was ridiculous. And I just stared him in the eye, and it was just like, okay, yeah, sure. And he got so pissed. I just walked away. And didn't say anything after that as he continued to yell. That job was good, somewhat.
Yeah, were your coworkers cool?
Yeah, that's where I made most of my friends at in Oregon.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how long did you work there?
Probably like 5 months.
That's pretty good run.
Yeah.
So like, did you get that job after you moved to like the next town with the new couple, or did you?
Yeah.
It was probably in that same town.
Yep.
Alright. So you got this fucking job cooking vegan food, working in the restaurant,
Yep.
and you fucking have your roommate situation down pretty well. How long did you like stay in that like roommate situation?
Not very long because
Oh yeah, you saying that they ripped you off.
no, that was
Oh no, that was the older couple
Yeah.
before that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're living with these people. They're chill. You have a gig. How long? And so you stood with them like a couple months, a couple weeks.
I probably stayed there for like 2 or 3 months because there was shit going on with my girlfriend at the time, and there was also a lot of stuff going on with me because I was I'm my father's medical proxy, so I'm constantly having to talk to like insurance companies whenever he goes into the hospital. But ended up splitting up with the girl I moved there with, and that had me asking around where I was working, which was the vegan cafe, if anybody was looking for a roommate, and I finally had someone tell me yes, and I moved in with like probably 6 people in a 2-bedroom apartment.
Oh man, we did that. We did 5 people and 2 dogs in a 2-bedroom.
Yep, there was actually 2 dogs. No, a dog and a cat, but
Because people can't afford to live alone and feed their dogs.
Yeah, but how did that go? So are you living in? Was it a bunch of guys? Is it
let's see.
who lives there?
3 chicks live there, and me, and I think 2 or 3 other guys. It varied because people would come in and out of the house, like basically doing what I was doing, but
Yeah. Yeah, so kind of a few constants, and then people kind of drift in and out.
Yeah.
Kind of like, I don't know, how's that?
that was okay. I mean, having roommates eventually get on your nerves really badly.
Yeah.
And so it just got obnoxious for a couple of my roommates. Mostly this one named Sam. She was just rude to everyone, and she knew she was being rude to everyone, and she enjoyed it.
Oh, we're not gonna tell Sarah about this yet. I'm gonna tell her after I talk to Mom tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, so this one chick was mad rude to you and rude to everybody.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So, but mostly everyone was cool.
Yeah.
Fucking.
Yeah.
Nobody. I don't know. Did anyone get like sketchy over there? Is it? Or was it just kind of like chill?
I mean, the only somewhat sketchy thing is like basically this whole thing with Donald Trump being elected. That got rough. Other than that, no, there wasn't many sketchy things that happened there.
Yeah, well, that's fucking good.
Yeah.
Well, the next thing I want to ask about is, so it sounds like you went from living with a couple and then you moved in with these, like, 5 other people over there.
Yeah.
So seems like you were pretty, like, fucking stable for, like, that time when you had your place and your gig. So, like, what were you doing, like, for fun, like, in your spare time about then? Anything in particular? Just sit inside your house? Did you like to go to the park?
I mean, the roommates, like, when we had the good, fun roommates, whenever we had, like, days off together, because most of us worked at the same cafe that I was at. My brain. God damn it. Lost my train of thought.
It happens. Yeah, so like, say you were saying, if you
Right.
guys all had the day off together, like, what's something you guys like to do?
We would always go out for breakfast, and it was really easy in Portland to actually like go out for breakfast and find something that everybody could eat at.
Yeah, because fucking for the podcast, Devin's vegan. It goes through fucking, I don't know. He was vegetarian, who turned vegan. He was telling me a little earlier that he did like raw food only for a little bit. So he does all sorts of, different stuff in his diet, and like, and like I've heard, it's like a big thing. Like, there aren't really like vegan restaurants around here, and you're like,
Right.
just worked a whole chain of them.
The
Like,
closest place you can go here is the Green Bean, and that's not fully vegan, but like they at least do basically what Oregon does, or Portland does. They have a good amount of stuff that's like vegan and vegetarian.
Yeah.
And then there's also a side that's specifically for like omnivores.
Yeah. So what's something that you like to go when you get to have your pick at going out for vegan breakfast?
There was actually this one place that was gosh, I can't even remember the name of it, but it was well known for like having this one hash that was completely vegan, and it had like a tofu scramble with it. It had like biscuits and gravy that was actually vegan. That was an awesome place to go. But they also have things there that they have tons of smoothie bars there, and like they have acai bowls, which are amazing everywhere out there.
What even is that?
It's just basically a smoothie in a bowl, but like they have a lot more superfoods in it than most other places. And that was probably my favorite thing to actually eat there.
Hey, I have a question.
Yes.
Do superfoods help you take super shits?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, kale, berries.
Lots of fiber. Yes, that's cool. So what, did you like, I don't know, did you get into any, like, anything creative while you were out there?
Well, I did move on to another job. I was actually bouncing around jobs for a while.
What was your next job?
I think my next job was a security guard.
Security guard.
Yeah.
Where?
In Portland, they have these
Outside somewhere?
yeah, they have clients, so it really depends on who each day.
Okay.
But the main clients were these parking garages, and they were like 10 floors high. But they had us go through a ton of training. The thing is, the security guards didn't get anything for like to protect themselves with. We had a small flashlight. We didn't even have walkies. We had a pen and a paper to write down anything that was like violations or anything like that, and we were supposed to write down in our books every 15 minutes. But the thing about downtown Portland is there are a lot of homeless people there.
Yeah.
A lot of the homeless people have mental illnesses.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are sadly they're drug abusers. So like there's always people in the stairwells to the
Yeah.
they're shooting up and they're already mentally not there. They're always in the stairwells doing that.
Yeah.
But when you're there at night, and our uniforms looked exactly like a police officer's uniform. It was like that dark navy blue, and then we had a badge.
Yeah.
We didn't have anything to defend ourselves with if they got really angry and charged us. We even asked this in like the training session. We were like, what are we supposed to do? They're like, you run. Legally, you cannot hit them.
Oh,
like,
man.
no. Legally, I can because I'm protecting myself. They were like, well, you're not going to work with us for much longer if that happens. I'm like, so you're putting me in these steel-toe boots, and you expect me to run away from someone who is on some form of...
It's just like on Crystal in a stairwell, just
Yeah.
fucking running at you like a fucking Walking Dead.
They're gonna be a lot faster.
And you can't kick him either.
No. And after I heard that, I was like, I'm not gonna be working here for much longer.
Yeah. But how long did you do that?
Probably not even like 2 weeks.
Fair enough. What was your next? Oh, were you still living with the 6 dudes when you got that security job?
Yeah.
All right. So, and then what was your next gig after that?
It was at one of my favorite Vegan restaurants there, and they hired me on as a cook because I had experience from the other job.
Yeah.
And they promoted me to prep, and then they eventually told me that I could start making desserts there, and that's when I really got into the raw veganism. But I made these raw vegan cheesecakes.
Oh yeah, he showed me a picture of it. It's like a pumpkin
Yeah,
vegan cheesecake.
pumpkin pie, and it's made of just like nuts and like walnuts and cashews, and then there's dates and like lemon juice, and like it even has a crust too. So it's like
Okay.
I wish I could show that on the podcast.
Oh,
but
fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks delicious.
If I can send me a picture, I'll just make it the background.
Yeah.
I just do like fuck yeah. Send that shit to me. Yeah, so that's cool. So sounds like you found yourself a restaurant you kind of fit in with. That's fucking nice. And so how long did you work over there?
The rest of the time I was there, actually.
So another like year and a half.
No, because I probably bounced around from a few other jobs. They weren't really like
Noteworthy.
Yeah. I was probably working there for 8 months. But I ended up actually living with this other girl who I ended up dating, and her mother, and I stayed with them the rest of the time I was in Oregon.
That sounds comfortable.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Well, it wasn't exactly.
Sounds better than 6 people in a 2-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Three people. Even 3 people in a 1-bedroom apartment sounds more accommodating.
Yeah. As long as it's like a decent living room.
Yeah. But how'd you meet this girl?
It was actually through. There's like tons of pages. There's like a Portland Vegans page on Facebook. And I would constantly be on there looking for stuff because they would post things like meetups and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And she ended up posting on there looking for like information about something, and then she was like, asking tons of people to be her friend because she didn't have any Portland vegan friends.
Was she like new to Portland, or
No.
was she new to veganism, or?
She was somewhat new to veganism, but she had always done it on and off.
She was just trying to get more involved with like the culture of it.
Yeah.
All right.
And let's see.
You guys just like see each other on like message boards all the time or whatever. Posts.
Yeah. She would. Yeah, she then asked me to be her friend. We ended up hanging out. She ended up. I feel kind of bad leaving her. Her ex because of me.
Oops.
But her ex had actually been not that nice of a dude. Plus she was pregnant, which she didn't know.
The ex is never that nice of a dude.
Yeah. Like,
Don't always
he was
believe that.
he was a good guy. That's why I loved him. Oh, so she's pregnant with this. He didn't know about the kid.
Yeah.
Does he still not know, as far as you know? You can find out.
Yeah. Then, I mean, she didn't end up having a kid because she ended up getting something called intrahepatic cholestasis. I don't know, the abbreviation for it is ICP.
So she didn't have the baby because of the insane clown.
Yes.
We understand. She was like, I can't bring a kid into this world.
Basically what it is that your body becomes too acidic and it starts attacking the baby, basically.
Oh.
And that was killing her. So she had to go through an abortion. I was actually the one there for that because you need 2 people in the room when they...
So what was that like?
Fun.
Like, I felt so bad because I could feel the pain just radiating off of her face.
What they fucking do? They put a thing in there? Like, is it a hose?
The pre-actual surgery type thing is they end up putting a sponge that's made of like seaweed.
So are the portions vegan? They
They
got seaweed in them. I mean,
Are abortions a superfood?
probably for someone. For the Rockefellers.
Yeah, so they put the seaweed sponge in and...
Yeah, it's put on the cervix, and that basically makes the cervix start to dilate, which makes the birth start to happen, I guess.
Huh.
And so that's when the surgery actually happens, is when they have to put her under and then, scoop it all out.
Yeah.
ugh.
And you just had to like just be in the room.
I had to be in the room when the pre-op was happening, so I'm like, I forgot to say that it's a learning hospital, so they have like students doing things, and she got a student, and she was like, nope, you don't, no. I was like, oh god, I'm so sorry. I was like, do you want to hold my hand? She was like, no!
Just
Like,
this
I'm
noob
sorry.
putting a seaweed sponge in her cervix.
Yeah.
Like, I hope it doesn't go over there. It's not the cervix.
And she was like, it was one of the most painful things I've ever felt. I was like, I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's pretty crazy, man.
My ex had an abortion like 2 or 3 weeks before she met me, and then didn't tell me until a year into when we were dating. So that was fun. She would just randomly cry when we first started dating. I thought it was weird.
Did you get over like?
Yeah, like after like a month or 2 of us dating, she stopped being weird and sad all the time.
That's I don't know.
It was weird.
Yeah, it must be weird to like get to know someone while they're just not themselves like that.
Yeah.
Like, what was it like when she kind of just started being herself? Like, what did you
don't
think
know.
at first?
I don't know. I was mostly in it just to get laid.
No, there you go.
I can't say that, any of that was a good decision. Probably should have ran for the hills. I know you aren't really yourself when I got to know you either.
No, that's true.
Seems to be a theme in my life. I meet people who undergo great tragedies immediately before getting to know them.
It's a crazy way to get to know.
It is.
Yeah, so I feel like so many people fucking got to know me for like the 2 years that I was bouncing around. Like I met so many people, and it's like so many of those people don't even really know me. How how I think of me and how people close to me like think of me because I was just so in a different place mentally and like physically. Like when you don't have anything, people don't know like what you're into and like what you're like just even like superficial things. Like I don't know what your style is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like no, I live on a couch and I'm gonna wear the same shirt 6 days in a row because I'm depressed and I'm ready to do laundry. Like it's fucking weird. But like so you live with this chick and it went on for like 8 months.
Yeah.
And so like so what were you getting into? Because I know like I don't know, you're really into like the veganism, you're into like politics and shit. So you kind of like try to like pursue the friendships kind of through like those meetings, or were you like involved with that kind of stuff? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what's like a day for Devin while you're working in the restaurant, living with this chick and her mom.
Yeah, so I was... Oh, one of the things that I was going to say, that I found about, like, one of the things I did for fun there was, I wouldn't say it's political activism, because, well, I don't consider myself part of politics, there was a good amount of anti-fascist and anarchists in Portland. And there was a ton of rallies for that. Like we went to one for the Black Lives Movement, and it was against the police state that we're living in, and and against prisons being a form of profit. That was probably the most notable one, because that was the one that I got attacked by the cops at.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about this last night online. That shit's crazy. So like, when you're in that situation, like, what's happening? So you're with all these people in like a crowd.
Yeah.
Wait, you said this was for Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
So what were you like? So you guys were there, and what were you trying to do? You just wanted to be there, just saying Black Lives like matter for like the world to hear, or like what?
Yeah, we were in front of the like courthouse, and where basically all the political shit goes down there. We were at like the town hall, and yeah, it was just like a ton of people came together, and we were on public property, and a ton of people are holding signs and waving flags. It was all peaceful. People were agitated, but it was peaceful, and there was just this wall of cops, like probably 2 layers thick.
Like around the courthouse?
Yeah. And they were all in riot gear. And at one point we were standing on the sidewalk, which is still public property. And just out of one of the corner streets whips around like a huge white van, and this group of cops that are like hanging onto the side of the van, like you would see in a movie, just jump off and charge us.
Really?
Yeah, they just charge us head on, no warning, nothing. They just come out with batons and just beat the hell out of some of us. And that's when things got a little rough from the other side of the fence. We ended being pushed and hit back so much that we had to like jump over this metal rope fence, and they made us stay in there, and people were yelling like, what was that for? I was like, everybody is completely peaceful here. Like, we're not harming anyone, but punches got thrown, and cops actually, I saw them grab the legs from a guy jumping over the fence, and he actually caught his foot on the metal and fell down, and they grabbed his feet and dragged him, and like his face hit off the ground several times.
Dude.
Like, this is not okay. And I mean, it was something I loved to do, but like that is ridiculous. Like,
Yeah, what was there? Do you know what like the official like police story was about like what happened?
no.
Fucking, they really just swung it on a van
Yeah.
and just started beating the shit out of people. It's
Alright.
crazy.
So I have a line of questioning. So how would you describe yourself politically?
An anarchist.
An anarchist. Who did you vote in the last election?
No.
No. What is your opinion on WikiLeaks? So, alright, so you believe in police transparency,
Sure.
right? Because you're there, you're being an activist
Yeah.
to protest the police state. Do you believe the full government should be transparent? Do you believe we should?
We should be able to see everything that's going on.
Yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
Now, what if the contents of the truth are more damaging than hiding the truth?
Then we would know what's going on, and then we would actually try to do something to change it. I would hope, at least.
I don't know. I'm of the belief that all of this shit going on is way above anything I could possibly fathom.
Yeah.
Like, I don't believe anything in the news necessarily.
Right.
I don't believe any news. I feel like that gives me a good basis to come up with these crazy theories that enter my head. But really, I think that everything is happening at such a high level that even if we knew, we wouldn't really know, like, have any way to know whether it's right or wrong. It's been happening the same way for hundreds of years. Like, maybe it is the right way. What if it is the right way? I don't know. I wouldn't want to be president.
Local government might be cool.
Yo, local government would be sweet. I'd be the fuck out of, like, a city councilman.
Yeah. Yeah, I worked as an intern in City Hall for 2 semesters, and I worked in the Department of Community Services, and I don't know, they just wanted to help people, and I don't know, just be comfortable. Like, working for the government's a pretty, like, comfortable job. You can afford a life. Everyone at City Hall is, like, relaxed. It's just, like, a mad, like, chill, like, environment. Like, I don't know. It's slackers. It's it's like.
That's why they work for the city government.
But it's not. But it's not also, because they also do mad shit. But everyone's cool, because they're just like, yeah, you just chill out in the office.
Because there's probably never really a rush on anything.
Yeah, like you might have.
It's the city. You don't expect them to do anything in a timely fashion.
Yeah.
You, like, already expect nothing from them.
But at the same time, it's like, they are, like, organizing things and putting the community together and helping people. But I don't know, I was just surprised. I was surprised at how lax everyone could be and still get all their shit done. Because, like, I don't know, I work in, like, restaurants and stuff. And those places can get pretty hectic. And, like, you know, fucking your boss can be real hard on you. And, like, it was kind of cool to be in an environment where, like, oh, that didn't really matter. Like, the first day I was there, they were like, oh, I'll show you where the mailboxes. And no one had the key. And they were like, oh, well, we'll find out another day. Let's do something else. So I'm like, alright. But we've derailed, because you were asking him about some activism type of shit.
Oh, yeah. Like, I don't know. Do you subscribe to the whole anti-Trump thing?
I mean, I'm not happy.
Are you gonna go start attending rallies to protest Donald Trump?
There's no way I could get to one, but...
See, I'm of the opinion we were fucked either way. I don't care.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not.
I don't think Donald Trump is as dangerous as Hillary Clinton.
I'm not saying...
That's where I'm at.
One of my things that I constantly say or post on Facebook is, it is ridiculous how we always have to pick the shiniest of two shits.
Yeah, but I don't think Hillary Clinton was the shiniest of two shits this time.
No. Like, if
Donald Trump's shit was fucking gilded,
Bernie Sanders
probably.
came up there and talked. And
Wait, what was that?
I went and saw Bernie Sanders. He was in Portland, and like listening to what he said he was going to do. Like I'd much rather be in a socialist nation than this democratic nonsense. But like, yeah, that if he was still in the race, he would definitely be the person I would have voted for.
Yeah, I don't know, part of me thinks that... Well, mostly I think the president is a figurehead.
Yeah.
So I mostly think that it doesn't matter
Yeah.
who the president is, that it's basically a narrative created for, like, entertainment.
Yeah.
And
here's what I was about to get.
But just like, I feel like there's also potentially, and I don't know this for sure, like, Bernie Sanders not being president, potentially just the position he got himself in running could put him in a better position to actually go for his, like, mission that he was pushing as the president. Yeah. It's like, alright, now I have this publicity as a popular,
right.
Still kind of fringe, but very popular presidential candidate. Didn't make it to the election, but, like, I don't know, that's kind of for the pits anyways. Like, Donald Trump is president. That's a stupid job to have.
Here, and then, alright, so before I get to my real point with this, Bernie Sanders, if he wasn't so old, would have had another run at president. But he's too old. By the next election cycle, he's going to be too old. If he had been in his 60s, I would have given him a chance in another, 8 years. But the real sad fact of the matter is, recently there's a big fucking leak about the CIA. Mm-hmm. And how they can watch everything anyone does. Yep. And now for, people like you and me, it doesn't really matter. Mm-hmm. Like, what, the CIA is going to see that, I sit at my house and do nothing all day. Yep. But what it matters to is the people running for president, running for senators, running for House of Representatives. Because if they're watching us, they're sure as hell watching them. Yeah. And they have all of the dirt on them, and they can make them do what they want. Yeah. So really, this comes back to... no matter who becomes president, there's going to be dirt on them. Because nobody's clean. Yeah. And then there's someone there say, hey, listen, we got this dirt on you. Yeah. Do what we say.
Exactly. Yeah.
And if there's no dirt on you, you have no chance. Yeah. They'll do to you what they did to Bernie Sanders and just fuck you out of the primaries. Oh, yeah. And that's not to say Bernie Sanders didn't have any dirt on him. I'm sure he does. He's an old man.
But no, I get it. It's just one potential scenario. Like, we can't use you the way we want.
If there is a shadow government,
so we're just
that's how it operates. Yeah. A couple months ago, there were, rumors of Hillary Clinton being involved in shady shit in, Haiti and developing countries and human trafficking and whatnot. But that's why she had such a good chance, if that's true. Is because they have the dirt to control her. Yeah. So if she becomes president, she does what they say. Yeah. Otherwise, they throw her to the wolves. The first president that tried to get rid of the CIA was JFK. Mm-hmm. A couple days before he was shot, he had a press conference saying that the CIA needed to be dismantled piece by piece. Mm.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And he ends up murdered. Another one who opposed the CIA was Jimmy Carter. And what was he famous for? Only serving one term. Because the CIA funded Iranian or Iraqi or whatever country refugees took a bunch of American hostages, shortly before his re-election campaign. And when they were released? When someone else was elected. I think that's how we got Reagan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
On the CIA, did you also see that that one paper that says they actually did try to create super soldiers with psychic abilities?
Oh yeah, no, MK Ultra is not at all a secret, and it hasn't been for a long time.
Yeah, they're trying to make super soldiers?
Yeah, it's MK Ultra was their program to brainwash people, pretty much. It was the psychological warfare aspect of the CIA. In the 60s and the 70s, they'd give people acid and shit and fucking torture them and fucking try to induce fractured personalities, is what they called it.
It's crazy. Honestly though, the most interesting part of that was probably the brainstorming. Because it's I don't know, they were kind of I don't know the whole history of brainwashing, but it sounds like they were kind of inventing brainwashing, kind of basing it
Well,
off.
no, they were basing it off of the Nazis.
Oh, really?
So what happened is, it's called Operation Paperclip. After World War II, the CIA hired all these top-level Nazi scientists to come work for them. And the Nazis were big into the human experimentation. They fucking, like, cut you up while you're alive and fucking torture the fuck out of you.
That was one thing.
But it was the same goal. The goal is the Manchurian Candidate. Is that someone who appears normal and then with a code phrase or a trigger becomes an elite assassin. You know, whether or not it's real.
Were the Nazis the Nazis were working on that? Or
I'm sure that was one of the things they were working on. It was just, what can we do to humans and how can we change them and make them. But, like, that's the thing that is supposed to have come from MK Ultra is sleeper soldiers. Someone who is just a normal person and then get triggered. That's what they say the guy who killed Kennedy was. And the guy who killed John Lennon. It's something they pin on all these famous assassinations. It wasn't the CIA. Whether or not it's true, what matters is that was their end game, and they had endless resources.
Yeah, the fact that they were trying to begin with.
You remember Zoolander?
Yeah.
That's the concept.
Yeah.
That's where that comes from.
What were you going to say? I think you were going to say something about what Nazis did.
Yeah, one of the other things they did was to some of their captives was they would inject dye into their eye to try and change their eye color.
Ouch.
Yeah. While they were awake.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
It's not good history.
No.
It's not pleasant to think about or talk about. It's reckless as fuck as far as human rights goes. It's shit that if anyone had figured out when it was happening, we would have been seen as bad as the Nazis in the world stage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or as bad as Stalin. Or, we were fighting this Cold War with Russia. All the propaganda says we're the good guys. But, how can you believe anything? Everything is written from a point of view.
Yeah.
Everyone has a favorite something. Even history. There's no truth. Anyway. You'd
have to, ask, every single person, firsthand. What's going on, in the world, in order to actually understand what's going on in the world.
And it goes further than politics, too. It goes into academia, too. Even just, ancient Egypt has an accepted timeline and narrative.
Yeah.
But it's very likely completely untrue, and anyone that tries to say it's untrue gets shamed. And, the question of, is this real, is enough to shame you out of ever being able to research anything in Egypt ever again.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate because it's really hard to find anything from the other point of view that also isn't fucking laced with crazy conspiracy theories. Because, there is shit that is clearly not even of relevant possibility in anything you can read about this. But then there's also shit that's like, oh, okay. And then you can look that up and find out individually if that's true or not. But anything I've ever read, any book I've ever read that talks about any kind of alternate history, it gets really crazy with it. Because that's what sells books to crazy people. Any mention of aliens and I'm out.
Fair enough.
And that's where I draw my line, but it's really hard to find any literature about any of this shit. Doesn't go straight to aliens. I'd even accept prehistoric civilized Earth.
Sometimes I wonder about that, if we're, if the human race is possibly much older than we think it is, or if the timeline is much different than we think of it.
Or if it just happened in sequence before.
Yeah, or it's
maybe we're just on a cycle of self-destruction.
Yeah, civilization comes and rises and then wipes itself out, and then with nothing left, you revert back to like tribalism. And
Even go further than that. You go just wipe all life off of Earth, and then life will restart because it's already happened once before.
Yeah, or something like that.
And then sometimes you find like a spark plug buried fucking 200 feet under the Earth's surface. You know, in a rock from like a billion years ago, and you're like, because that's the shit. They find all this crazy shit in all these fossils that couldn't possibly be true, and that's the shit I like reading about. I don't like the people that say, "Oh, it must be aliens."
You just go, hey,
because there's no proof of that. It's enough to have the question, "What is this, and where did this come from?" You don't have to give me what you think.
Yeah, you don't need some wild speculation. It's just like, look at this. I found it in this unusual place. And you go, well, that is unusual. Like, I'll add that to my list of unusual things found.
But this shit just gets filed away in universities under the irrelevant category. Because it has no relevance. Even you could study it for fucking the next 1,000 years and you'll never know where it came from.
Yeah.
Because all that shit become oil.
Yeah.
Yeah, Earth has had at least one major extinction that we know about. And that was when the dinosaurs went extinct. What's to say there wasn't something before the dinosaurs that went extinct that was as advanced or more advanced than we are now? You know, we're showing a fucking proclivity to self-destruction. You know, but it's, I don't know, it's kind of unavoidable once you have billions of people. You know, if you had billions of termites in your house would go fucking get destroyed. And the Earth will still be here long after we're gone. It's not like it matters in the grand scheme of things. But it's weird when you find things that make no sense.
I'll say. Like you. Yeah, I just bust your balls.
I feel like that was a pretty put together
that should make sense.
Pro and anti-conspiracy theory.
No, that should make sense. I was just busting.
Yeah, right? I don't know. But then everyone fucking reads about it and it says aliens, and then no one wants to believe it.
Yeah, like, dude, just stop at the fossils.
And if you're a real conspiracy theorist, you say, fuck that, that's the controlled opposition. That's how they keep this shit secret. Because they put it out there. And Alex Jones it. Alex Jones will tell you something that's like, oh, the CIA is reading all of your email. It's true. And then also the CIA is run by lizard people. Which is so outlandish that you don't believe either thing.
Yeah, you ever heard of the conspiracy that Alex Jones is Bill Hicks?
Do you know who Bill Hicks is?
No.
Oh, damn.
Bill Hicks is a comedian from the 90s.
Yeah, and he was just really like kind of anti-consumerism, like just like an
anti-everything.
Yeah, just like an anti-establishment kind of fucking fuck everything kind of comic, but he's into like psychedelics and whatever. And he fucking died young or whatever. And then then there's this dude, Alex Jones, who looks just an awful lot exactly like him. They're like from
most likely a CIA plant.
They're like from the same like town and shit. And and then there's one clip of him where he accidentally says, "I'm your host, Bill Hicks."
It can't be true though, because there is no truth.
There is no truth. Alex Jones is a lie.
That is my only belief. That nothing I see or hear or feel is real.
Are you sure?
Simulation theory. Theory that we're all. The theory is that if we are indeed capable of creating a simulation of the human experience, that simulation will create its own simulation, and that simulation will create its own simulation, and it is more likely that we're in a simulation than not. Because we only have one chance of being the real thing, as opposed to an infinite amount of simulations.
Rick and Morty explained this the other day.
Really?
That's a crazy one. It's one that I hear and I'm like, out. But hey, it could be true.
Yeah, because
the logic behind it is fucking sound.
Yeah, the logic behind it. I mean, it works for me, but I'm just gonna go ahead and assume this is reality. Because even if it's not,
it doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, do the same thing either way.
This is probably the shit that drives people crazy. Like
it's a simulation,
like
but it's
the old fucking stereotype of the homeless guy screaming about fucking conspiracies.
We're the 10th simulation.
Yeah.
End of days.
We are number one simulation.
Number one
Simulation number one.
Where do we see a bathroom?
Right there.
The bathroom.
Sweet.
Yeah, this is all dumb shit I know a lot about.
Oh yeah, you gotta finesse.
Hold the bar and pull the bar that holds the towel on.
Okay.
Boom. Nailed it.
I don't know why it's so difficult for me to talk to somebody I don't know. Well, I tried to ask you out about 1,000 times, and in my head you just always say no. And I don't care at all, I'll drink some alcohol. It'll make me who I really wanna be. 'Cause I'm that kind of special person that drinks too much. 'Cause nobody understands me. Because everybody's got somebody, everybody but me. Why can't anybody just tell me that I'm somebody's? I'm gonna lock myself inside my room with this 40 ounce on repeat. I thought that if I cleaned up my act, it'll help me understand exactly who I am. But I hate to say that it just don't work like that. 'Cause I'm a special individual, I don't need no plan. But I got bills to pay and I got pills to take. 'Cause I'm born and raised in the USA. And I'll scream and shout that I'll never sell out. I'll never sell out, man. Because everybody's got more money. They got more money than me. Why can't anybody just give me some more money? Because everybody's got somebody, everybody but me. Why can't anybody just tell me that I'm somebody's? I'm gonna lock myself inside my room with this 40 ounce on repeat.
So we're back.
We're back.
We're back.
Before I keep talking about what you're continuing, I do really enjoy the narrative of the crazy conspiracy theories. People come up with some really inventive shit.
They're just good stories.
Yeah.
Just entertaining to read about.
Yeah, like I read a book that was talking... This is like the book I was specifically talking about before. It was like, started off as talking about like buried spark plugs. And then it goes on to talk about how there was a planet in between Mars and the next planet that was destroyed by like a meteor or something. And then there's another planet that orbits the sun once every like 10 million years or something. I don't know, but the two planets like collided. And then the people from the one planet came to Earth and started the human race millions of years ago or whatever. But it was a really good book. Like, it didn't matter that it was crazy. It was like, oh man, someone put a whole lot of work into creating this narrative. And it's just wasted. It doesn't matter if it's true. Like, it's like the Bible. Like, the Bible doesn't have to be true or for it to be a narrative that someone put a lot of work into. Someone put a lot of work into writing that book.
Yeah, it's a big book.
It's a big book. Yo, like, we were reading in the car as a joke one day. We were reading, like, the Old Testament because he got one from somewhere. And it's just like, yo, half of the fucking Old Testament is just lineages.
Yeah, it's just saying...
So they'll, like, say who's the son of who, is the son of who, is the son of who, for, like, 3 pages, and then they'll tell you, like, a short story. And then they'll go back to, like, and then... Because, like, it'll tell you, like, a story about, like, the lineage. Like, this guy is the son of this guy, is the son of this guy, did this. And then his son's son did this. It was just bizarre.
Yeah.
It was really weird.
But someone kept track of all that. And fucking wrote a book. Or at least I
This is
assume they kept
important.
track of it.
Or they invented it.
Yeah. No, well, I mean, they invented it and they kept track of it. Like,
Yo,
to lots of advantage. Or
here's
they
something
just...
interesting. You ever hear that, like, most people have some kind of relationship to royal blood just because of the rule of numbers? So, like, a king and a queen have kids, right? And they have kids, and their kids have kids, and then their kids have kids. Yo, over the course of, since the royal families have started until now, the amount of kids is over fucking billions. So they have to be interweaving. So there's like a 98% chance that at some point you're related to everyone else on the planet if you go back far enough. Because it's the same. You go back, you have 2 parents and 4 grandparents, and then 8 great-grandparents, and then 16 great-great-grandparents, until you have billions of fucking great-great-great-grandparents.
Yeah.
So, according to numbers, you're related to everyone else. Which makes sense, because we're all humans.
It's true.
We're just all one big family on Earth.
Yo, but the reality of it is fucking...
Is what?
Is that fucking... I don't know. I lost my train of thought right there. I was going somewhere with that. Incest is real.
Incest is real.
The perfect ending line right there.
Alright, so we're gonna sign off on that then. Incest is real. Fucking Devin is back from fucking Oregon with his crazy stories. Fucking me and Kyle are gonna try not to get kicked out of our apartment tomorrow. And Jared's coming down today. Maybe fucking try to get him on a podcast too. Maybe see what he's been doing in Boston lately. Hey.